Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
November
Morning.
11th, Veterans Day. Hi,
Yeah.
everyone. Two men were sitting next to each other at a Murphy's pub in London. After a while, one bloke looks at the other and says, "I can't help but think from listening to the way you talk, you're from Ireland." The other bloke said, "Yes, I am." Bloke. The first one says, "Well, so am I. Whereabouts in Ireland were you? Where are you from?" The other one answered and says, "I'm from Dublin." The first one responds, "Well, so am I." Well, that's something. It says, "A lovely little area it was. I lived in McClary Street, on McClary Street, in the old center part of town." The first one says, "Well, isn't that something? So did I. And I went to school. Where did you go?" "Well, now, I went to St. Mary's, of course." And the first guy says, "Well, so did I. That's fantastic. When did you graduate?" "Well, I graduated in 64. "Well, my goodness, so did I." "I can hardly believe our good luck in winding up in the same bar at the same time tonight." About this time, the bartender yells to the other bartender and says, "Brian, we got the Murphy twins here again, and I think they're drunk."
I knew that.
Oh, no. Oh,
All
man,
right.
Good one.
that's good.
Tip of the day. It's called predictive, and I don't know whether we worked on predictive before or not, but predictive is when you're working on when you're using your keyboard to type in something, there's a little bar at the top and it makes suggestions about what you might want to type next. And they've enhanced predictive a little bit. So I just want to go through a little exercise, right, where we try out predictive. And before we do that, I just want to make sure everybody has predictive turned on. So guess where I'm going to lead you folks. First things first here.
Settings.
I'm going to take you to settings. How did you know? I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to go to, let's do it on the iPads. I'm going to go to settings on the iPad. And go to general. And then in general, if we scroll down to where it says keyboards, and you tap that, okay, and the options on keyboards should read predictive turned on and autocorrect also turned on. That's autocorrect right here. And predictive, both turned on. Okay. And then we're going to go back to our home screens. So everybody should now be on the home screen and we type settings. So let's hit setting. I'm sorry, not setting. We go to the app called Notes. I'm just going to Notes so we can type something. All right, so now I'm in settings. I'm starting a new note. And I did that by hitting the paper and pencil in the upper right-hand corner there. And then I click on the screen, and the first thing that shows up, you see that little bar at the bottom? Now I'm going to make my keyboard show up on the screen here. So your device should look something like that if you don't have an external keyboard. And it's even suggesting the first word. So you could start by hitting one of those. I could start by hitting I, they, or I'm, or I, the, or I'm. But it's going to say, just going to type this, THIS. So far, so good. You'll notice this appeared at the top there. And then hit the space bar. I'm sorry, hit the space bar. And the next word I'm going to type in, this is a new feature. So there it shows up the is. So I type is. And then the letter A shows up. I'll just hit the letter A. And then I start typing. I have to type the keyboard now because the word I'm after is not in the predictive bar. So I type an N, and guess what? Up there it says new. So I just tap up there instead of typing it. And then A space feature, FEA. Oh, look at that. After I typed in FEA, it guesses feature. And if that item, now look at my screen for a minute. If that item is highlighted like this one is, if I tap the space bar, it will stick in that word. So I'm going to tap the space bar. Then I'm going to just tap where it says of the new. And then I'm going to tap iOS. So I start by typing I and then O. And guess what? iOS shows up there. And so instead of typing the S, I could type it up there and have it capitalized correctly for Apple. And the last but not least, I'm going to double tap the space bar to get a period to show up. Tap, tap, and we get a period. Any questions about that?
Yes, Bill.
Go ahead.
On mine, I don't have a big keyboard. It's the keyboard on mine is a tiny one over on the left-hand side, not like yours.
All right. Let me get that keyboard. That's because in setting, well, can you put your finger on that board and slide it to the middle?
Let's see. No, won't do that.
Won't do that? Okay, hold on. Are you on your phone, Jim?
No, it's on the iPad.
Okay. And I went to settings. Does it say slide float? No, enable keyboard flick, send punctuation, delete side by side words. Oh,
So settings, general, and then what?
general keyboard.
General. Keyboard, yes, I've done that.
Do you have an external keyboard?
No,
Yes or no?
no, I do not have an external keyboard.
And all you have is a little keyboard over on the right.
That's what I had, but I've changed it. Yes, yes. Okay, so I'm back into notes and I've got a small keyboard over on the left-hand side under the notes.
Hey, Bill, I'm playing with mine and you need 2 fingers to change the size of the keyboard.
Say that one more time, please.
I'm using so I just changed my keyboard to the small one in this case, on the left, and I'm doing it on my iPad. If you put 2 fingers on the keyboard, then you can make it larger.
You
And
hear
then
that,
when
Jim?
it's large, you,
Do the opposite.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
That works. Yes, it does
All
work.
right.
Yeah.
I love it.
hey,
Yay.
Yeah, that works. Yes.
2 fingers, is that it? Um, So you put 2 fingers and you can pin, oh, yes, and then you can move, well, there it is on the center.
well, and then all you need is 1 finger to move it any place, the small one.
What do you do with 1 finger? Oh, you can put your finger on the little bar at
Yeah.
the bottom and move it where
Right,
you
and
want.
just move it. Right.
Oh,
Why, she gets an A plus.
all right, thank you. Somebody knows what's going on here.
Well, I didn't know, but because I haven't done it in a while, so I was playing with it while you were looking at the settings.
I'm glad. Thank you. All right.
Now, Bill, if you tap the return twice and it does a period in 1 space rather than 2 spaces?
I think it's period 1 space. What happened when you hit the space bar twice?
Mm-hmm. Is there any way, I understand there's a whole thing that if you're old, you used to do 2 spaces, and if you're young, you do 1 space. I like the 2 spaces, and there's no way of changing it to 2
don't-
spaces. Is that correct?
It's because it's a young person's machine.
All right. Mm.
But I know what you mean. They should have a feature on here. I'm an older person using this. Make it use my rules. All right. All right. I tap down on that. Now, I want to do kind of a summary before I do wallpaper and widgets. I would like to do kind of a summary. You're going to love this. A summary test for the iPad and the iPhone. So you get out your pencils and papers again.
Oh,
And we're going to see how you do. Okay. So this is the iPad quiz. 10 questions, multiple choice. What operating system does the iPad use? iOS, Android, iPad OS, or Mac OS? This is the iPad. What is the primary method of interacting with the iPad's touchscreen? A mouse, keyboard, stylus, finger, or Apple Pencil? A, B, C, or D? Which app allows you to download and install additional software on your iPad? And I should say it's the only way to add additional software. The App Store, Safari, Calculator, or Settings? What's the primary file management app on the iPad? Files, notes, photos, or messages? The primary file management app. Which gesture, and gestures when you touch the screen, is used to return to the home screen on an iPad? Sweep up from the bottom, sweep down from the top, double tap the screen, or press the home button. Oops, give you the answer on this one. Which of the following allows you to use two apps side by side? The answer is multitasking. And this, how can you take a screenshot on the iPad? Oh boy, this one's for you, Jim. Press and hold the button, the home button and the volume button. I'm sorry. Press and hold the home button or the volume up and power button simultaneously. And I could add the word quickly on that. Shake your iPad, yell screenshot, or use an Apple Pencil. What is the digital assistant on the iPad called? Alexa, Google Assistant, Siri, or Cortana? Which iPad feature allows you to wirelessly share content with other Apple devices? iCloud, AirPlay, Bluetooth, or NFC? And that's it. And the answers are, what operating system's on the iPad? It's iOS. Actually, if you use the word iPad iOS, I would accept that answer as well. What is the primary method of interacting with your iPad touchscreen? Answer is D, fingerprint and Apple Pencil. What app allows you to download and install additional software on your iPad? The Apple Store. And the Files app is the primary management app, and that's A. Right? Which gesture do you use? And that's A or D. Sweep up from the bottom or press the home button, depending on your device.
Yeah.
If you have a home button, it's press the home button.
Yeah.
If you don't, you sweep up from the bottom. We know what the answer to this one was. That's A. How can you take a screenshot on the iPad? Press and hold the home button, or does that work, by the way, to take a screenshot? Those of you who have a home button?
Sure.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Okay. Or volume up button and power button quickly, simultaneously. You press and hold them and release quickly. Siri's the digital assistant, that would be C. The iPad feature allowing you for wireless is the AirPlay. AirDrop is what I usually call it, but it's AirPlay. And the Apple Pencil is the accessory used to draw, note, and take. Did I give you that?
You can give us that one.
iPad accessory can be used for drawing, note taking, or more. Okay.
Oh. A plus.
All right, that was the iPad. Now we've got 10 questions on the iPhone. All right, ready? Hopefully most of you did pretty well on that one. All right. What's the name of the button on the side of the iPhone that you use to turn it on and off? Could be on the top, by the way, as well. Is that home button, power button, volume button, or side button?
This is
How do you take a screenshot on your iPhone? Press and hold the home button and the power button at the same time. Press the volume up button and the power button at the same time. Press the side button and the volume up button at the same time. Press the side button and the volume down button at the same time. Whoa, that one's going to be interesting. How do you open the control center on your iPhone? Sweep down from the top right corner, sweep up from the bottom, sweep left from the right edge, and sweep right from the left edge. A, B, C, or D. How do you open the notification center? Sweep down from the top left corner, sweep up from the bottom, sweep left from the right edge, and sweep right from the left edge. How do you force restart your iPhone? Press and hold the power button for 5 seconds. Press and hold the volume up button and the power button at the same time for 5 seconds. Press and hold the home button and the power button at the same time for 5 seconds. And press and hold the side button and the volume down button for 5 seconds.
I don't know. Right home button. What's that?
Why did that happen? I don't know. All right. I was just checking my phone. How do you update the iOS software on your iPhone? You go to Settings, General, Software Update. You connect your iPhone to the computer and open iTunes. Go to the Apple Store and tap the Update tab. All of the above. Ooh. Number 7, how do you download and install apps on your iPhone? Go to the App Store and tap the Search tab. Find the app you want to download and tap on the Get button. If required, enter your Apple ID and password. Tap on the Install button.
All of the above.
How do you install apps on your iPhone? Tap and
Uninstall.
hold the app icon until, how do you uninstall? I'm sorry. How do you uninstall apps on your iPhone? Tap and hold the app icon until it jiggles. Tap the X at the top left corner of the icon and tap delete. Or D is all of the above. Number 9, how do you use Siri on your iPhone? Press and hold the side button. Say, hey Siri, ask Siri a question and give her a command. All of the above. A, B, C, or D. And last but not least, how do you take a selfie on your iPhone? Open the camera app, sweep to the front-facing camera, tap the shutter button to take the photo, or all of the above. Answers are, number 1 is D. What's the name of the button on the side of your iPhone you use to turn it on and off? It's called the side button. If you had given me the power button, I would accept that as well. So if
Yeah.
you pick B, I would accept that. How do you take a screenshot on your iPhone C and D? Press the top button and the home button simultaneously.
Hmm.
Or press the side button and the volume down button at the same time. Is that right? Volume down.
A and B is get the same thing with the power button.
Yeah. Just a minute.
Yeah. Okay.
C is volume up.
Yeah, it should be volume up. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. So it's C, press the side button and the volume up button at the same time. And I put D in there for Jim's benefit. No. D, press the top button and the home button. This is if you have a home button. Okay? How many of you have a home button on your phone? Just say no. Many of you may. That's
Yes.
the older iPhone,
Mhm.
and the power button is on the top versus the side. I think that's true. Does anybody is that true? For those of you, somebody tell me if anybody has a home button there on your phone.
All I have is a side button.
You still have the side button with a home button?
Yes, on the third SE, that's the way it is.
Okay, thank you. So I thought, never mind. Next. How do you open the control center? That's A, sweep down from the top right-hand corner. The notification is you sweep down from the top left-hand corner. How do you force a restart on your phone? Press and hold the power button for 5 seconds. If you have a home button. If you don't have a home button, you press and hold the side button and the volume down button for 5 seconds.
Bill, when would you use
We took our last river cruise 5 years ago, 2018 this time.
the force restart would be used when as opposed to
Luxembourg.
powering off?
You should power it off
would.
once every 2 or 3 weeks to clean up, to
Idiots
give it a
not to.
new
It was
fresh
such a
start.
great trip.
So you
And
really
so am
should
I.
do a forced restart.
We can afford it.
Someone needs
All
to
right.
mute. We're getting their cruise information.
Say again, please.
Someone needs to mute. They're
What's
talking
that?
about their cruise if they can afford it.
Yeah.
Let me mute everyone, and
Thank you.
then you can unmute yourselves. There we go. So A, for press and hold the power button for 5 seconds. If you have a home button. If you don't have a home button, you press and hold the power button for 5 seconds and you get Siri. So you have to do D if you do not have a home button. Number 6, how do you update the iOS software on your phone? Any of the above? That's not true. Go to settings, general software update. Of course, that's true. Connect your iPhone to a computer and open iTunes. That is also true. You can do it by hooking into iTunes. You cannot do it with go to the App Store and tap on the Update tab. That will update the applications, not the operating system. So if you answered A or B on that, we'll give you credit. Number 7, any of the above. How do you download and install apps? And actually, that's the sequence you do it in. A, B, C, and D. Number 8, how do you uninstall apps on your iPhone? All of the above as well. You get them to jiggle, you tap the X, and then you tap delete. Number 9, how do you use Siri on the iPhone? Again, all of the above do work, depending on some of the settings, of course. Now, some of you don't have, doesn't work when you press the side button because you have a home button. But you can press, hey, you can say, hey Siri, or ask Siri a question, just say, Siri, what is this? And number 10, how do you take a selfie? Open the camera, switch to the front-facing camera, and tap the shutter to take a photo. Okay, hopefully all of you were pretty comfortable with both of those. Some of them were a little convoluted. What I'd like to talk about next are widgets. On my iPad, well, first of all, what are widgets? Widgets are little information portals. If you look at mine up there, I have one from the weather app on my iPad there, and it tells me the weather. So I actually see the results. I have one from the stock market. I actually see it without actually opening the app. So widgets are information from a particular application, and it's the actual information. You can go get more details. If you click on the widget, it will open the app. So the difference between this one and the stock app is it gives me the information. So I don't need to open the app and maybe go into the app somewhere to get that information. Everybody see where that makes sense? And here's the tips app. It's actually giving me a tip where it tells me about how to quickly take a photo. And I could click on that and get that information. All right. So far, so good for now I'm going to switch to my phone for a minute. And they have something called the Today view. If you sweep your finger from the left to the right on your phone, and the same on your iPad, you will get a listing of some of the widgets that are available to you. Well, the ones that are set up. And if you have some there, what I'd like you to do, unless you're really fond of them, I'd like to get them off there, and we'll set some of the apps up again. So I'm going to start with the iPad. If I press the iPad, just the screen, you'll notice a couple things happen. They start shaking. And the minus sign appears. Now I'm going to remove all the apps from my iPad, all the widgets, I should say. So I hit that and remove. So I'd like you all to do that. So you're, whoops. So you're looking at, now if you still have some, I'm going to do the same thing on my iPhone, by the way. I press the screen, they start shaking, and you'll notice that on the iPad, mine have one that's shaking and one that isn't. I'm going to remove the one that's shaking by hitting the minus sign. And then I need to talk about the one that isn't. They used to have the Today View only with customized widgets. And they didn't have the capability to make them shake and get rid of them. So there were two ways. There was one way way back to get the widgets on, and I would go to this screen, the one that's up there right now on my iPhone, and you would tap Edit, and then I would tap Customize. And you remember these lists? Here's lists. If I hit the plus sign, I add something, and I hit the minus sign, I remove something. So I'm going to add another widget this way. I'm going to add earthquake. And I tap done, and now I have two customized widgets put there the old way. Now, since then, they've come out with a new way. So if you don't have anything under customized, good. I don't need to add confusion to your life. If you do, what I'd like you to do is hit customized and remove them. Hit the minus sign, remove, minus sign, remove. And then I tap done. And now I have no widgets on my iPad or my iPhone. And that's the way I'd like everybody's screen to look right now.
I don't know, Bill, if everybody else got it, but I lost you. I got things wiggling on my iPad, and then what?
At the on the at the
iPad,
screen on
yeah,
at the Today View screen.
yeah, I think so. I pressed it and they're all wiggling.
When you say all, does it
All
look
the
like a home
icons,
and
all
they're
the
wiggling?
icons.
Does
Yeah,
it look
all-
like that?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Put your finger on the left-hand edge and draw it to the right.
Left-hand edge and draw it to the right. Okay. Okay,
And you
it's
should-
cloudy. It's cloudy and it's got top news stories trending.
What's it got on it? Say again.
Top news story trending featured.
Okay. Now, are they wiggling?
No, it's cloudy in the back, and those things are just steady on my iPad.
Correct.
That's what he's working with, the iPad. Okay, so now what?
Okay. When you press the screen, do they wiggle?
They're cloudy, I can't see them.
Let me put one on here just so I can give you an example. What'd you say one of yours was?
I got trending, featured, and some things that I looked up before. Share essentials.
You have Siri there? I mean,
Trending, featured. The background's cloudy.
okay. Does it look something like that with a box?
Oh, yeah, I've got several things on that side.
Does it say customize under it?
No,
Does it say edit under it?
it just has the weather and the date.
I understand. Does it say edit underneath it?
No,
Like,
no,
no?
no. I'm looking at the iPad. Is that?
I'm looking at my iPad.
Yeah, no, it doesn't say that. Am I supposed to press something else?
No, it doesn't say edit.
No,
Is that right?
right.
Press and hold a blank area of the screen.
I'm holding it. It's not doing anything. Okay, now the bottom, they're wiggling and they got minuses on them when I pressed and hold it.
Wait, when you press, just a minute, let me do something here.
I'm sorry.
Okay, does it look something like that? Except I have the minus sign, right?
Yeah, yeah, they're wiggling. Yeah,
Wiggling,
yep.
press the minus sign.
On one of the objects.
One on any one, we're going to do all of them, but press the minus sign on one of them and
Yeah,
tap remove.
I didn't see that. Oh, remove. Okay, I got that.
Now do it on every one of them.
Oh, gee, okay. All right, thank you very much.
That's good.
Thank you.
So everybody should have a screen that looks similar to mine right now. And I press and hold. And I press and hold, whether your iPhone, I'll do the iPhone first and then I'll do the iPad. So if you have only one of those devices, observe while I'm doing the other one. Now what we're going to do is add a widget to this screen. So I pressed and held, I ended up with the plus sign at the top. So I tapped the plus sign. And it comes up with some suggested widgets. See them? And then if you scroll down far enough, it will list all the other widgets you can add. What I'd like you to select on your iPhones, one that's really nice, I think, is one called batteries. So scroll down to to where the text says batteries. Hopefully you're with me. If you're not, please speak up, okay? And I tap batteries. So I tapped batteries. And if you're a little lost right now, let me just do it and then I'll go back and do it again. All right. So I'm looking at batteries and it shows me that little picture of batteries. It also shows me three little dots there at the bottom and the word add widgets. The three little dots indicate that there's three different shapes of the widget I could have. And if I sweep from right to left, I could have it show up like that or like that. I'm going to go back and choose the first one and say add widget. So now that widget got added. Now I'm going to remove it and do it again, and everybody try to do it with me this time. So I tap the plus sign. I go down, scroll down, down to where it says battery. I tap the word battery. And I'm going to choose the first one that they're going to just say add widget. Well, that was pretty good.
Oh, I did.
Now I'm going to hit the plus sign again. And I'm going to scroll down. How about the App Store? So I'm going to just add, well, that's not a real informative thing. Let's do add App Store. And I'm going to leave it the same size. So I tap add. And I hit the plus sign again. I'm going to do three more. I'm going to tap photos. And I can add a bunch of different shaped photos here. I'm going to choose the one with my family there and tap add. And then I'm going to do one more, not two more, but one more. You see where it says Smart Stack? I'm going to do that one. And tap add widget. All right. Wait a minute. Let me try something here. Yep. Just tap add widget. So now I have 4 widgets. And hopefully all of you have 4 widgets now. And let's just see how they work. Anybody not have 4 widgets? Yes, no? Okay. So I'm looking at my home screen, and if I put the right widgets there, I get some information like there's how my devices are charged. Right? I have a watch and I have an iPhone, and they're both pretty well charged up. So that's good. I have pictures there. I have a picture of my family. If I tap it, it takes me to photos. Right? If I tap the one for the App Store, it will take me to that particular thing in the App Store. Just what I always wanted. Okay. Now, the reason I chose the one with the map on it, it's a little different. It's supposed to be. Hold on a minute. I can tap it and get to maps, but if I put my finger on the lower portion of it and draw up, I'll get my calendar. It's a stack of apps. And you see the little dots on the screen? Look at my screen for a minute. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. And I just pull up. I'm going to change the dot location on the right there. So it's a stack of widgets. Already made for me. So there's my map where I am, and there's what's going on today. And I got pictures 8 years ago. I've got the clock at various places. It's 8 o'clock near my son's home. It's Paris. It's about 5 o'clock. I'm not sure what the other two are, but you get the idea.
Yeah, we did, but what if you got something on and you don't want it? How do you get it off?
Oh, you make them shake. Whoops.
Make them
Press your finger on the screen and you can hit the minus sign and remove it.
Where's the minus sign now? Oh, at the bottom. Oh, on
No.
on
You
the
get them to
item?
shake. When you get them to shake,
Yeah,
you get the minus signs appear
Right.
on each item.
right. And how do I get rid of the one I don't want?
You tap the minus sign
On that one?
on that one.
Okay, and it says remove. Thank you.
Okay, press it now to get this.
Can you remove individual ones in the smart stack?
I have not found a way to do that yet. You can add individual ones, But the smart stack was great. So if I wanted maps by itself, I'd scroll down to the Maps app. And I'd add that. Okay, so now it's not a stack. It's just an individual app.
Now I got mine with one thing I use with now.
You can move it and you can,
Hold it lightly.
now,
Hold it lightly.
another interesting thing. Now you can do this multiple ways, but what I could do is I could take, I want to get them to shake again. So I'm really in edit mode. And I could move one of those apps to my home screen. I put my finger on it and I slide it to the right. And now I've got it on my home screen. So I've got that stack on my home screen. And there's my calendar, the way they want to show it. And there's the maps. That's my Ring front door. So if something goes off on my front door, I should be able to see it there, right? If I have a reader list. Now you can create your own stack, but I didn't want to, well, I can show you how to do that. You can get them to shake and then move one on top of the other. Now I've created that stack. And the question was, how could I separate them now? And I don't know. Nope, there's no way to separate them.
Bill,
So I have to,
on my phone every day, or I get pictures from the past coming up. So I think I
Yep.
probably got a widget like you're talking about, but it's rotating. You know,
right, that's the 8-year fit photos.
yes.
That's the one you chose, perhaps?
I don't know. It's been on my phone always.
I'm gonna add that one. And there it is. Okay.
Oh,
And
okay.
it may rotate, I'm not sure, but if I tap it, whoa,
Wow.
so yeah, they do some unusual things sometimes.
Bill,
Yes, go ahead.
I was actually totally lost, still probably am. What I managed to do somehow is to add the battery widget, but it's huge, and how do I get it smaller?
We touched that.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
Let me add one that's huge.
That's all they
Okay, I'm
have?
gonna remove the one that's there.
These all I use, yeah.
All right. And so I'm going to add an app. I'm going to go down here to the battery.
I always use together.
I can't hear because Marianne is talking on her phone, I think.
Yeah.
If you wanted to remove it, you touch it. You don't want to remove the whole.
Here we go.
Okay.
Okay.
Now,
I'm going to go down here to battery.
Okay, where are you now?
Okay. Starting out, I have no app.
Okay.
I hit the plus sign.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go down to battery from the list to select the battery app. And here's the thing you may not have gotten the first time through. I tap on battery and I can make them any size I want. I have the little one, the middle-sized one, and the big one. What I'll do is put one each on there. There's the small one.
I got lost on the search widget. I got to that page and it says search widget. So what do I do there?
Scroll down to where it says batteries.
I'm there.
Just tap the word
Batteries.
battery.
Oh, yes. Thank you. And
now you have a selection of which kind of widget. If you look at my screen, right, I could have this widget.
Right.
And there's 3 dots, meaning there's 3 different types of widgets. That's 1. There's 2, and there's three. And if I press add widget when any one of those three is on the face, I will get that widget. So I'm going to add that one. And then I'm going to scroll down and add the one of the other ones.
Oh, it's huge.
Then I'm going to add the small one. I'm going to add a third one. Right? Again, I'm going.
I somehow ended up with a huge thing and I'm not sure.
And I'm going to add the third widget. So there's the three different sizes for battery.
Okay.
And if I don't want any one of those, I tap the minus sign and remove it.
Okay. All right. I'll try it on my own since I'm sort of too lost to take up more time.
Oh, it's okay. We'll do the iPad next.
He is talking, but
Thank
why
you.
don't I hear him?
All right.
Bill, I have a
Yes.
question. Can you say one more time how
What?
you
Stop.
go through your stack
I don't know what the heck.
things to see the things you have in your stack? I can't get past the first one.
Okay. Let me add the stack here.
What did I do?
Whoop.
Why don't I hear him?
Got to find it again.
Right, true.
Tips. Can't even find the smart stack anymore. Oh, there it is. Smart stack. No. I have to restart my phone to get it.
I think it was that one that you clicked on that said Smart Stack, because that's what I did to start my stack thing.
That one? Well, that just adds that
But
stack. I
then
think.
it says add widget. So doesn't that add it
Oh,
to the
this is it.
stack?
This is the one. Smart stack. I'm going to choose the size of the smart stack I want. I'm going to choose the middle one there. And you see the lines on the right-hand side. See the little dot, I'm sorry, dots on the left-hand,
Yep.
right-hand side over here? See them
No, I got it.
on my
Yep.
screen? If you
Yep,
put,
I do.
I'm going to stop them from wiggling by just tapping the screen. And then you put your finger on the lower edge of the app and draw, whoops, and draw up. Or up, you kind of sweep. I'm putting my finger about here and pulling down, or here and pulling up. I don't know if it'll work with the,
All right. I understand now. I understand what you just did. That answered my question. Thank you.
right. Whoops. Okay. All right. Let's switch to the iPad. We're looking at the iPad, similar kind of event. So if you were watching this and only had an iPhone, you had a really good preview of it's almost exactly the same. I'm going to sweep on the iPad, and there's they call it the Today view. I'm going to press the screen somewhere in the middle. And the plus sign appears. So then I'm going to click on the plus sign.
Up here. Plus.
I don't have,
Yeah, plus.
And then it's a bigger screen, so they show you a lot more information all at once. They show you the suggested widgets on the right, and the list of applications that will present you with a widget. Okay? And again, I don't know if the battery will do the same thing or not, but I'm going to tap the battery. And again, I can choose the size of it. Oh, and it's my mouse and the iPad itself, right? What's the battery power of my mouse and the iPad? I tap add, and there it is. And let's see if we can get a smart stack here. Oh,
Let's see, what did he do? I forgot.
I wonder if that big one is a smart stack. Oh, wait a minute. It says smart stack over on the right. So I tap that. And that has a whole bunch of apps with it. Let's make it bigger. I want the biggest one there. And then I tap add. And now I got a really big one. Okay. So I'd like to know if you're all with me and able to do that. And you can say, try it again, Bill, but I can now stop them from wiggling and go to the second. My calendar's on there. Yeah, I've got featured friends, feathered friends. What's that one? My notes. There's the weather.
I don't need this big clock here either.
I think that's my messages,
So
right? And there's my music, and I could select when there are a couple of songs, etc., and play.
I still
Bill,
can't.
can
Yep.
you change
Go
the
ahead.
items within that smart stack?
Yes.
You can create your own smart stack
Yeah,
if you wish,
yeah.
and I'll do that here. I'm going to add,
Okay.
and I'm going to put a couple of apps out there. I'll put the weather app, and we'll add that one. And I'm going to add another one. Let's put the
Well, so you don't have to bother with that.
Yeah, I'm not good. It's my cousin Linda, Jim and his wife from Thailand.
I'll put Find My. We'll add that one,
The
Oh,
sister.
that doesn't even
Yeah,
look
she
like
got
and
her.
I'll do one more.
That doesn't even look like her.
So I'm adding some apps, and I try to make them all the same size that I want to combine.
I like this stuff. It's good.
And I'll choose the music app and add that.
Yeah, I think it's.
Well,
Okay, so now I have
all
those
the
three
time.
apps. I have those three apps.
There's one that we use.
And I'm going to just put my finger on one of them, this one, and I'm going to move it up and put it on top of that one. Oop, come on, that worked. Then I'll move this one and put it on top of that one. And then I can put that one in there too. So now I've combined four apps. You'll notice there's four little dots. I'll stop them from wiggling, and now I can go from one to the other. Okay?
I could never figure out, I'm actually still on my iPhone, but I couldn't figure out where you find the sizes again. I go to all three and they're all
Okay.
different, they're all
You're
huge.
missing that one. You're missing that fine point. Okay? And
Okay,
you're quickly going by one screen. So I'm going to add an app. Let me choose the clock.
okay,
See the dots at the bottom? This is the
Yeah.
part you're missing.
right. I only have
And
three
I can
dots at the
sweep
bottom.
from left to right to change the clock that I want.
Okay,
I can get, there's one that's smaller. Okay. So these are the different ways it can display a widget. So I'm going to choose the smaller one, clear over here on the left,
mm-hmm,
and I just tap add widget. Now that's the one that appears.
okay, all right,
I can hit the plus sign and go to calendar. And I can get all different kinds of calendars there. And you just sweep left to right to select the one you want. So there's a big one.
okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Bill, my home screen has a bunch of apps on it and they all have names beneath them. The two widgets have no names. How do you put a name under the widget? Because I just
You
added
don't.
battery, but there's a picture of a iPhone and 10%.
I don't know a way to put, well, let's see. You see, I have tapped, I press and hold the widget and it comes up and say edit widget, edit home screen or remove widget. I'm going to edit widget. And that's the only thing it gives me on this one. I can change the location of the weather I want to look at. Okay, so they don't allow you to name them. I think they assume that the information on there would give it away.
I have a question, Bill. How do you
Go ahead.
scroll through the dots? I have a stack of 5, but I don't know how to scroll through the dots.
I don't see them either, but if you sweep, you'll see the dots. Sweep once and the dots will appear.
Yeah, I have. You mean sweep your finger up the screen?
Okay, I'm on my iPad right now.
Right,
Well, it can be on my iPhone, my iPad here. Let's go to the iPad. Okay, there's the iPad
right.
and there's the iPhone. And the dots disappear. They will, yeah. See the dots disappeared,
Right.
but if I put my finger here or here and draw up or down, the dots will appear.
Uh,
So on my iPad, I'm going to put my
um,
finger up here and pull down, and now
okay.
you see the dots on the left.
So you have to have your
They're
finger
there.
on. You have to have your finger on the widget to scroll through.
That's correct.
That's what I
On the
didn't get.
widget, pull
Got
down.
it.
Yep.
Got it now. Thank you.
Yep. Good. Good question. So a lot of people are using the today view, right? They get it, and so they get a lot of information on that today view. They just put 8 or 10 widgets on there, right? And so I'm going to move this widget over to the today view. Okay. So basically, what I've done is created a widget screen and a home screen.
Bill, I've got a question. Was looking at all those dots on the bottom and the one page had just one item and I deleted it because I don't want all these pages. But it turns out I deleted Bank of America. I can't find it now. How do I get something back?
You deleted it from a widget or you deleted it from your device?
Those dots on the corner, on the bottom, that screen, I pressed on that screen to delete the Bank of America because it was sitting there by
No,
itself.
no, which screen are you talking about, dear?
The iPad, with the dots on the bottom. I went to
These
the
dots down
yeah.
here?
Yeah,
Yep.
I went to the last one, the last page, and
Yep.
I saw one item sitting there, and I thought, well, I don't want that, so I deleted it. But I lost my Bank of America.
Okay, now, when you clicked on it, when you tapped on it,
Yeah. I pressed remove.
you tapped remove app,
Yeah, I
and then what
did.
did you do? You
To
tapped delete app?
delete it. Yep. Yeah.
Oops.
I got to get it back.
Now, how do you get something back, everybody? That should be on my test.
Oh dear.
If you accidentally delete an app you didn't want to delete,
Thank you.
how do you do that?
Go to the App
It-
Store.
You go to the App Store.
Oh,
That's the one with the A here. You click on that,
yep.
and then you click on search. So far, so good. You clicked on the App
yes, I got
Store,
it.
you clicked on search, you type in Bank of America. Okay, there's Bank of America,
Yep.
and it should have an arrow on it. It has a little cloud with an arrow on it. That indicates that you have downloaded it before and you removed it from your device. So I'm going to click on this one. And it's downloading it.
I've got to where you had them all there, but I don't know which one to pick.
Pick the one that has the cloud on it with an arrow going down. That's the one you have.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. Good. That's a good lesson, right? Wallpaper. Any questions on widgets?
Bill, I have one question and I probably know the answer, but on that widget page, are we able to rearrange the order? I guess what we do is we get him to shake and move them. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I have one more question too. Can we make a widget smaller? Because like my calendar and my weather app both came large and I don't want them large.
You have to delete them and go back and add it a different size. So for
Oh.
example, I have the stock one's a little one there. So I'm going to delete it. Then I'm going to go into widgets. I'm sorry. I'm going to go into add it. I'm going to go down to, if I can find stocks now. And I can change the size of it. So I'm going to make it really big here. I'm going to add that widget.
Okay, so it's
Okay.
add widget. Yeah, let me see. I think I got it now. Thank you.
Uh-huh. You know, I was in the supermarket the other day and I asked an employee where they kept the canned peaches. He said, "I'll see," and walked away. I asked another person, he said, "I'll see," and he walked away. In the end, I gave up and found them myself on I'll see.
That
Ah.
Very good.
was a good one.
Love it.
Okay. Wallpaper. When you first start your device, has wallpaper. That's the wallpaper on my iPhone, iPad, I mean. That's the wallpaper on my iPad, on my iPhone. Okay, and you'll notice they're two different things. Well, my iPhone, I think they're similar, but my iPad not so much. There are several ways to do this, but I want to cover the main way and the way it used to be done, and still it can be done. And that's by going, and we'll start with the iPad this time, and then we'll switch over to the iPhone. All right. And so I'd like you all to just watch while I play with it a little bit, and you get the idea of what I'm doing, and then we'll all do it together. I'm going to go to settings and scroll down to where it says wallpaper. Okay. And it has the three dots there in the bottom indicating that I have three different wallpapers. There's one, there's a second, and I don't have any on the third. Right? So far, so good. So I'm going to go to the third and I'm going to add a wallpaper. So I'm adding a new wallpaper. And it comes up and says, what would you like to add? I got all these things you can do. Right? You can do photo shuffle, you can do people, right? So I'm gonna just go to photos, make this relatively easy. I'm gonna go to photos. And I'm going to say all photos, and I want to pick photos, all photos. Then I'm going to scroll through my photos here and pick something that's kind of nice. It's always the hardest job. I'll pick one of my birds here. So that's the photo it's suggested or is giving me. So far, so good. And it says pinch to crop, so I can change the size a little bit. And I can just say add at this point. And I can say set as pair, so it's both my iPhone, my lock screen, and my home screen. Okay, so now I'm done. And there's my lock screen, and there's my home screen. Okay, everybody? So let's do that once. I'm going to settings, and I tap wallpaper. And then I scroll to where it says, I can say add a new wallpaper, or I can come over here where it says new. But I'll tap add a new wallpaper. And then I can select one. And if I make it relatively easy, I can go down here and
Where is the wallpaper? Oh, I just found it. Thank you. Okay, add new wallpaper.
I'm going down here and just pick a color. All right, and then I pick the style I want in terms of color.
I see.
I can just sweep left to right to see what's going on here. I kind of like, that one with the tone. And that's all I want to do right now. And I tap add. And I want to make this, no. And so there we go. I've got it, that wallpaper. And if I go back to my home screen, now that's what I have.
How did you get the photograph part, or how did you
I'm
get
going
to
to do that
photograph?
next. I'm going to do that
Oh,
next.
okay, all right.
All right, I'm going to choose this one where I just created, where it's customized on both the lock screen is the left screen. That's this one. And this is the home screen. So I'm going to go and customize the lock screen. Okay. Let's start a new one. Add a new wallpaper. And here's the wallpaper. And if I tap photos up there at the top, when I said add a new wallpaper, I can select a photo.
Get a wallpaper, I don't know. It's a wallpaper. Choose a wallpaper.
Is that
Okay.
live photos that you selected
Is there
at the
one?
top?
No, I didn't select live photos. You want to do that?
No? Oh, I see. Photos on the left. That's fine. Didn't see it. Thanks.
Mhm.
I tried pressing that. but
And I'll pick the skyline of
Wallpaper, okay, which you're choosing this. Well,
Sarasota,
What new? Oh, what then, wait a minute, what was all those?
looking at the Van Wezel.
That came out before, yeah, I got that. Start over again, maybe start over. But you got all those that you could choose from.
And I tap add. Now,
Choose new
for
one.
those of you who are a little more advanced, what you can do is you can change those other features up there. You see where it says Saturday, November 11th?
Whatever.
If I tap that, then I can change the size of that. Well, not the size, the density of or the boldness of the text. I could change the color of the text. If I tap Saturday, November 2nd, November 11th, you can change the effects on that. And I could actually add a widget to the left.
Getting complicated.
I'll add a clock. Okay. And then we tap add. If I don't want my home screen to be the same, I tap customize home screen at the bottom. And then I prefer my home screen to be just a solid color. So I'm just going to pick color. Press and hold it. I'm going to make it a little darker color and then tap done. So that's the way you change the home screen. Ooh. There we go.
I'm on the page that says set as wallpaper pair, and I keep clicking that and nothing happens.
Okay, so let me go there. This one you're talking about, the one that's on the screen
Yeah.
right now?
Except my left one has the picture I want and the right one is still gray. And when I click set on wallpaper pair, nothing happens.
Hold on.
All right.
So they're different. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Just tap the screen. Back, well, let's see, the dot maybe? I think you're done. I think you say, well, hold on a minute. Let me do something. Um, Ooh. I think you tap customize home screen and then tap done.
Okay, it's just, it seems to be frozen, so how do I get out of the frozen part?
Now if you tap set as wallpaper, set home screen.
Oh,
Did you tap that?
no,
And it's
tab set as wallpaper pair in the customized home screen and I tap and nothing happens.
okay. Let me add a new one. We'll go to color. I'll add that. This is the screen you're saying it's frozen on?
Yes,
Just tap set as pair.
I did and nothing happens.
Really?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Well,
I got lots of wallpapers now. I'm gonna have to delete some. Gotta figure that out next.
okay, all right, thank you.
Do this one. I tap add. And at this point, you can customize the home screen to be different than the lock screen. So I'm going to customize the home screen. I'm going to make it just a granular. And then tap done. And I've got those two different home screens. Hey, Bill, are you still with us? Could you, how do I delete a wallpaper? Now that I have 15
check.
that I don't need. One I want is that one. Any other questions on wallpaper?
Okay, I'm still on the page where it's frozen. When I go back to my home page, it's fine. I click on, oh gosh, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Click on the control screen and the control keeps coming back to the one page that I can't seem to get rid of.
Click control, control, control.
Not control, what?
Settings, settings.
Yes,
I'm not sure why it's locked there. The way in which you can get rid of that.
mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a good general question. Everyone. If you're having problems with an app and it doesn't seem to be functioning correctly, an app, how can you reset it? Huh.
Delete it and reinstall.
Well, that's the most extreme. If you go back to your home screen, put your finger in the middle of the screen and pull, no, not that one. Just a minute. Put your put your finger at, you want to get to the app switcher, it's called. The app switcher, and you put your finger on the off the screen on the bottom, pull up to the middle, and you get all the apps that are running listed.
Ah.
And there's settings. And Kathleen says, I can't get rid of settings. So you go like this, and put your finger on it and sweep it away.
Wow, thank you, it worked, thank you.
Okay,
Bill,
yes.
I found something that says the iPad and this is iOS 17. It says the iPad wallpaper can be set from wallpaper settings and from the lock screen. Custom wallpaper can only be removed from the iPad OS lock screen. To delete from
In
the lock screen. Yeah.
Whoa,
Well,
okay.
to delete from the lock screen, while the iPad is in the unlocked position, touch and hold to expose the wallpaper selection page. Delete an unwanted wallpaper, simply swipe upwards and confirm deletion.
So my lock screen is now unlocked because the lock is no longer at the top. Let me go back there. See the lock at the top? It unlocked because it got my face. And Bill's saying if I press the center, oops, I got to do it quicker. Unlock, come on, unlock. Ah, there we go. It's unlocked. I place my finger in the middle, and now I can switch between all those screens that I had.
And anyone you want to delete, just swipe up.
Sweep up, right? Like that. And there's the delete box. Oh, yes. Delete this wallpaper. Sweep up, delete the wallpaper. Sweep up, delete the wallpaper. I like that one. Okay. And I could get to the new wallpaper here, but I'm not going to do that. Right. So now I've got 3 or 4 nice wallpapers here. Sweep up, delete. So now I've sized it down quite a bit and I chose that wallpaper. Okay. Any questions on that one? Do I have any other questions? Let me, anybody have any questions on any sub? Go ahead.
I do, Bill. And I just recently downloaded Luminosity.
Okay.
I use it on my iPad. I tend to use everything on my iPad in a horizontal orientation. and this one won't. Is that an issue in the app? Or is there, because I look, there's nothing I can do to change the setting in luminosity.
Yep, I've got for example, yes, there's nothing you can do to change it unless they have an app for the iPad only.
I'll have to see if mine is iPad only. I think it is. I mean, I already sent them a message.
I just went to the App Store, and this is one most of you don't recognize or wouldn't understand. The apps do come in two different versions, one for the iPad and one for the iPhone.
Okay, let me see.
And if you tap, if you like, I'm looking at my apps right now, and I typed in luminosity as a search,
Right.
and it says in the upper right-hand corner, filter, upper left-hand corner. If I tap filter, it says iPad only or iPhone only.
And that's, I have iPad only.
If it's on
default.
iPad only, right? Then you
Yeah.
can, then it may come in the right way. I'm taking a cruise next year, and Princess has an app, but it comes through vertically versus horizontally as well. Comes through in
Yeah.
portrait versus landscape mode. And I have to
Right.
turn my iPad to use it.
I know. Such a chore.
I know. One of the other things that I was teaching a class one time, a person was having a problem with this app, and it was his iPhone, I believe he was using. And I said, well, if you can't do anything, the last case is delete it and re-add it. And he deleted it, and he went to re-add it, and it didn't show up.
Whoa.
Oh, did I feel bad? Well, I did the
Yeah.
research, and he was on his iPhone, and he was looking at apps for the iPad only. And this app was generated for the iPhone. So I switched it. I went to iPhone only, and voila, there was his app. So sometimes that happens. And that's what I was hoping would happen on yours, but it didn't.
It didn't. It didn't. So I'll let you know
Okay.
if they decide to change. Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? Okay. These are one-liners. Apparently exercise helps you with decision making. It's true. I went for a run this morning and decided I'd never do that again. There's a fine line between numerator and denominator. Only a fraction of the people will find this funny. Now that COVID has everybody washing their hands correctly, next week we're going to work on turn signals. For those of you who don't want Alexa and Siri listening in on your conversation, they're making them a male voice. It doesn't listen to anything. Oh, I gotta see. Wait a minute. I gotta switch screens so I can see your expressions here. All right. If Adam and Eve were were Cajuns, they would have eaten the snake instead of the apple. And just think how much it would have saved us all this trouble. Just once. I want username and password prompt to say close enough. still trying to get my head around the fact that takeout can mean food, dating, or murder. This was a cool one. So now cocaine is legal in Oregon, but straws aren't. Do you know the way they take cocaine through a straw? That must be frustrating. All right. Right. Any other questions, folks? So now you have the story on wallpaper and widgets.
Thanks, Bill.
Great class. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks,
Yep.
Bill.
What's anybody know what's next week? I think it's Q&A, is it?
It's Student Day. Bring your questions. You're right.
Yes, Student Day, bring your questions. So this is your assignment. Along with doing wallpaper and widgets, do a couple. I'd like you to each come up with a question. So I can just go around. It can be a good question, or it could be something you already know or want to know something you want to know a little more about. I guess you can ask me what's the weather like in San Diego. I don't know, but ask me a question, okay? And we'll see if we can
How do we get
get
peace all over?
That's right.
That's a good question.
Okay, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks,
And
Bill. Have a good week.
Yep.
Have
The
a good
Have a
iPad's
good week.
updating tonight, everybody.
You're what doing tonight?
The iPad is updating to 16.7.2 tonight.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, it's coming through and telling you now when it's going to update. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
tonight it says.
For you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see what mine says.
Only the older ones.
Ah,
Ah, yes, you have an older iPad because
I
we're
do.
on 17.1.1
ah,
and it says update now.
okay. Well, mine's still working, so I'm not buying a new one yet. I think they're
I
going to improve
understand.
in 2024, I heard.
Is that
Anyway, take care. Good night. Goodbye.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
take care.
Thank you,
Nice
thank you.
Thanks,
having
Bill.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.